Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Christine. Several weeks ago I did a video on independent playtime and what it looks like for my toddler son, and a few of you commented that you would really appreciate a video on how to implement independent playtime, so that is what I'm doing for you today. So Annie is joining me with this video, and I apologize if she's a little bit grizzly because it is getting close to nap time, so just trying to get this filmed quickly while Big Brother is sleeping. Independent playtime, I've talked about this in my previous videos. I will link that video here, by the way, if you want to go check it out. But independent playtime is exactly what it sounds like. It is your child playing independently. And there's not really a set age at which you can start this. It's just sort of whatever you're comfortable with. I know some people have done it with their newborns. Some people don't start until their kids are toddlers. Whatever floats your boat. For us, both my kids, I've not done anything before 6 months. Jack was 9 months old before I did anything formally, and with Annie we only started at 6 months. And I have a couple reasons. One is that they're just not very mobile, my children, before 6 months. And the second reason is because they nap a lot, you know, before that time, and so I don't really feel the need to implement independent playtime yet. But anyway, it's totally up to you as to when you want to do it. But let me just talk about a few points that are important. So the first point is that you need to make sure that it is done at the right time. So for us, doing it in the afternoon has never really worked because my kids are grumpy and they want mummy by that stage. So I make sure that I do it in the morning, and when they're bright and happy. You need to make sure your child is fed and dressed and clean and has a dry nappy, all those kind of things. And you also want to make sure it's not too close to nap time. So kind of figure out where that time is in the day, because we do sort of have pretty set routines in our home. That's not hard to figure out for us. If you are more of like a go with the flow kind of parent, which is great, whatever works for you, I'm just so not that parent, then it might be a little bit harder to figure it out. But most babies generally fall into a bit of a routine anyway, so try and pick that time of day and focus on implementing it then. Secondly, you need to make sure that it is done in the right location. Please keep safety at the forefront of your mind. Children can get into things that you never thought they would have been able to get into, so just really think about that. Just all the basic stuff that you think of as a parent when you're child-proofing a room. Your child is going to be monitored, but you're not going to be actually in the room with them. So yeah, you just need to make sure that everything is nice and safe, furniture's bolted to the wall, that kind of stuff. It's really important that wherever you choose to have your child do independent playtime is a place that they cannot see you. So you need to be able to monitor them, but they should not be able to see you, because most children, as soon as they can see mum, want to be with them and they don't want to play on their own anymore. So just keep that in mind. So for us, Annie has her independent playtime in her crib, and it's very different to sleeping conditions. The curtains are open, there's music playing, she has toys in her cot, that kind of stuff. So it does not associate it with sleeping at all. With Jack, he has his independent playtime in our designated playroom. It's completely child-proof. Well, completely Jack-proof, I should say. Most children probably wouldn't cause as much damage as he does, so it's completely Jack-proof, and so he has his there. I don't have a camera in his room, but I can hear him because it's like right behind me. It's adjoined to the living room, so I can hear everything that's going on. With her, I've got a video monitor in her room, so I can see exactly what's happening. The next thing to keep in mind is picking the right toys. Now, there are two aspects to this. First is you don't want too few or too many. So too few and your child's going to get bored, too many and they're going to be overwhelmed, and yeah, they'll probably end up getting bored anyway because they won't know where to start. So that's important. I usually give Annie about between 3 to 5 toys, just depending on what they are. And with Jack, he currently has free reign of his toys, but he has very few. He doesn't have any toys because I keep them at a bare minimum anyway. And then the second part of that is just the toys need to be age appropriate. So for instance, don't give them something that is too advanced for their age, because they're going to get frustrated and then playtime will not be enjoyable for them. And then the other side is that if you give them something that is too juvenile for them, then they're going to get bored and frustrated in a different kind of way. So try and make sure that the toys are age appropriate and that you have the right amount. If you want some ideas on what toys to use, then go and check out my blog. It will be linked at the end of this video and also in the description below, and I will have some toys listed on there. Lastly, this is an optional step, but I really like to have this, and that is music. I have a playlist for both of the kids, and I turn that on while they're having independent playtime. It is kind of a cue for them that they understand what's going on, but it's also nice that they get to listen to music. Another thing that will be necessary is to have a timer. This is kind of like for mutual benefit for the parent. It's so that you don't have to look at the clock every 5 minutes to check how long they've been in there. And the second reason is that your child knows then when the timer goes off, Mummy or Daddy is coming to get me and playtime is done. So some tips on how to actually implement it. My first thing would be to start little, start small, and work your way up. So that can be as little as like 3 to 5 minutes and see how your child does on their own playing. And then after 2 to 3 days, if they're doing well at that time, push it up a little bit and keep doing that until you get to the desired amount of time. At the moment, Annie is 7 months old and she's doing 15 minutes. Jack is 2 years old and he's doing 1 hour and 15 minutes. So you can see there's a big difference, but your child, Jack, happily plays during that hour and 15 minutes all on his own. So it can absolutely be achieved, and it's not a torture and it's not locking your child up, because I can see how people can think of it that way. It's providing them an opportunity to play. So the next tip is to be consistent. Children thrive on consistency, so be consistent with this. Make sure you do it at the same time every day, the same amount of time, so your child knows what to expect. Be consistent. The last one, and this one is a hard one to do as a parent, I find it hard, is to let them be frustrated. And I know we just talked about the right toys and everything and blah blah blah, and how to avoid frustration, but in this case it's different. You've given them the right amount of toys and the right type of toys, and they probably are going to get frustrated because they're in a process of learning different things and different skills, and you will hear that frustration sometimes, and it can be really hard because you know if you just step in there and fix it, then it's all going to be better. But one of the main aspects of independent playtime and the main positives of it is that they develop problem-solving skills. And it's a wonderful thing to encourage in your child. So I would really urge you to give them some time to figure it out. You know your child. Sometimes Jack has a cry where I know he is frustrated and he's angry, and I have to let him work it out. And then there's other times where I know he's hurt himself, and so of course I'll be there in a flash. So outside of the problem solving, it's also teaching your child to use their imagination, to be confident in their own company. It really helps with separation anxiety. And then the perk is that mum or dad gets time to themselves. So all round is very mutually beneficial. So those are my tips for implementing independent playtime. If you're curious as to what times are age appropriate for your child, then go and see my blog. Like I said, it's linked here at the end of this video and down in the description below. And I have listed some approximate times which could be considered age appropriate for your child. It is something that you have to decide on yourself, but it'll just be a bit of a guideline if you are curious. So if you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're interested in hearing more, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'm going to go answer the phone. See you next time, guys. Bye!